CMMC Super Saloons and TinTop race comes up here. Race 1 winner Alex Sidwell, it starts on pole in Holden Commodore V8 Supercar, alongside Adrian Bradley in his BMW M3. Then Ronan Bradley in his E36 M3, and Nick Sutton's Evo 10 come next. Then Martin Reynolds in a Ford Anglia, not an Escort, Ford Anglia, alongside Peter Selden's BMW E36. A similar E36 is next for Paul Watson. He's alongside Martin Scott, who's traded his BMW M3 for a VW Golf. Then rounding out the top 10, it's Matt Rowling in the Civic Type R and Paul Restle in the Ford Sierra RS Cosworth. Row 6 is Jack Whitehead in the BMW M3 and Neil Gardner in the Honda Civic. And then row 7, we see backwards Dave Charlton in the Seat Leon and Jeremy Sutton in the Ford Sierra Cosworth RS 500. Row 8 is where we find Graham Richardson in the Honda Civic and Ken Angell in the number 37 BMW E36 328i Coupe. Next comes Dominic Bryan and Liam Pauling in the 8th row of the grid in the Fiesta and Saxo respectively. A pair of Honda Civic Type Rs then come next, and that is Alex Baldwin and Gideon September, followed by James Seal and Richard Skelsey in a Fiesta and a BMW Compact, and Angela Massinetto in the Saxo, Ian Seal in the Fiesta, and then we should have our 3 non-finishers at the back of the grid, which is Adrian Matthews in the Volvo C30, Steve Dan in the BMW Scirocco, and hopefully, if his car is there, fingers crossed, Rob Birley, who started on the front row in the Ford Escort WRC. Hopefully his car is good to go again, and if he is, we'll see him charge through in no time at all in that Ford Escort WRC. Also, if we have got him here, fingers crossed, is Mark Diath in the Subaru Impreza. He didn't take the start in race 1, but hopefully he's there for race number 2. Look at the back of the field, he is there, so Mark Diath is there. Sadly, it looks like no Rob Birley, I'm afraid, but when we lose Rob Birley, we gain Mark Diath, so he might be all we want to watch for. He was the car that took pole position in qualifying his Subaru Impreza. He will be one to fly through the field for sure. So the cars he has to catch, of course, is these 2 or 3 at the front. Of course, the fantastic bona fide Holden Commodore V8 supercar of Alex Sidwell. It's one of about 5 or 6 he's got in his regiment. And then the 2 brothers, Adrian and Ronan Bradley. Adrian's in the green E46 M3, Ronan in the white E36 M3. Watch for also there Martin Reynolds in the Anglia. 2 M3s and everyone else in front. I think we're also missing Peter Selden. I think he's not on the grid here. Sadly, he's not going to take the start. But it's quite a spread out start for this one. Not really 2x2 formation, but they'll get to the line anyway. Lights go out and the second CMMC Super Saloons and TinTops race is underway. And immediately it is the big booming Holden V8 that heads down towards Richie's for the first time, but he knows that both of the BMWs behind are much better on the brakes and through the corners. Whoops, there's that Paul Restle going off the road. It is. He did that at the complex in race number 1, but off the road has gone Paul Restle. He's going a bit too over-eager into Richie's corner there. Couldn't quite get the car stopped. He might need some new brake pads for that, or just new brakes in general. Either way, the 2 BMWs are already starting to try and gang up on the Holden Commodore through the corners, but they both know that once Sidwell puts his foot down on the straights, that thing will just fly away from them until the next braking zone. Oh, the 2 BMWs actually getting into combat, actually. That was Adrian and Ronan. I think there was a slight wiggle from Adrian, and was getting to the side of Ronan there, side by side. So under brakes, the 2 brothers battling away in the BMWs, and up the inside goes the E36 of Ronan, past Adrian in the E46. So a move made there. Now we turn in through the left-hander. That's now Martin Scott's VW Golf. Also in there, Jack Whitehead in the number 3 car. Dave Charlton in there too. A few more Honda Civics making their way through. And there's Mark Diath, who's come from the back of the grid. He's also already passed Jeremy Sutton. If that's right, he must be somewhere around 12th position, which is quite the start for the back of the grid, which is pretty extraordinary. That'll be 27th, I think. Well, it's so loud as that Holden V8 supercar. I can hear it down the back straight from inside the commentary box. That's how loud it is, but it's a wonderful car. As they make their way down to the back straight for the first time. He's got past Ken Angell, so he's now up into, what's that now, I think it's about 11th or 12th position he's got up to now, so a few more position changes coming through. And look at how much power the Subaru has. It's right there lurking around the back of this group here of cars. We've got a BMW, the Golf of Martin Scott. You've got also in there too, there's a couple of Honda Civics and the Seat Leon. And there, look, you can see lurking around, there's the Subaru of Mark Diaz. So he's then going to charge his way past a few more cars here. Try to squeeze past Dave Charlton around the outside. Thank you. And through he goes. It's the end of lap number 1. So I can also hear the fantastic sounding Holden coming down the pit straight in the background. He ends the first lap, but we're watching this battle going on between the 4-car scrapping here. Mark Diath, that Subaru Impreza, carving his way past. That's I know it's a thoroughbred rally car in any case, Subaru Impreza, but that's not quite what they mean by using all the road and a bit more for Mark Diath. You might get a bit of a warning for that from the steward for track limits. And Alex Sidwell, we should mention, off the grid, off from the rolling start, gets the first flying lap of the race. That's a 2 minutes 11.070 for Mark Diath, who, that's he in fact, he's not showing up on the timing screen, which is odd. He should be. He's behind one of the Honda Civics. He's behind Martin Scott. I think he's about 6th or 7th now. So yeah, Mark Diath is not. He's probably possibly a problem with his transponder, I think, because he's not come through yet. Now, meanwhile, what's going on here? Right, there's been a change for 2nd and 3rd then, because not only has Ronan Bradley got through, so too has Martin Reynolds in the Ford Anglia. So he's got through into 3rd place. I think they're going to possibly, hopefully, insert Mark Diath manually into the points, into the timings sheet, because he's not showing has not come through. He's definitely in the race. Either his transponder's not working properly, or it's just a glitch in the system. But he's already got past the Civic of Matt Rowling. So now you see on the outside line Jack Whitehead, who holds on to the position. Here, in fact, is the battle that's going on once again for 3rd place. So Ronan Bradley has repassed Martin Reynolds, so back through on the Ford Anglia, has got the E36 M3. Through they go. And here comes Alex Sidwell in that Holden Commodore. Wonderful looking car as it turns its way in through the following corner. That's wonderful. In the background, even though you can't hear it, but in the background I can hear it as it just heads out of Murray's and accelerates up the straight. And then thunders past me, past the commentary box, and already he's on the brakes down towards Ritchie's. That is another new fastest lap for him, 2 minutes 8.117. Side by side for 2nd now between Reynolds and Bradley. And the BMW coming back at the Ford Anglia down towards Ritchie's. Can he get the undercut on the exit? He might well be able to. He'll certainly try. Can't quite make it stick there, so he might be a little bit better under brakes as the BMW. But that lightweight little Ford Anglia is going to really take the fight to him. Adrian Bradley's dropped back a little bit. He started the race without a rear bumper because he lost it in the first race on that sense. But for all you Aussie touring car fans, here's something that I'm sure you're enjoying right now, seeing a proper bona fide Holden V8 supercar racing in the UK. It's not often it happens, but I'm very grateful for Alex Sidwell for bringing it along and having a fleet of them here in the UK. He's got 5. He's got 5 in the country. I think he's got 1. I think one of which of those 5 is back in Australia being refurbished. There was an accident he had. I think it's Silverstone in the wet. I think last year or the year before. And he's also got another car which is coming up, I believe, on order as well, I've been told this morning. So he's got, that'll be a fleet of 6 Holden V8 supercars. He's got quite a lot of original spares he gets through from the Australia as well. Lots of front bumpers and wheels and windscreens and everything else. He gets all sorts of different parts come through. There's no wonder why his team is called Holden Racing UK, because he's obviously got lots of connections with the different Holden teams that have been running for supercars. And of course, he can get plenty nowadays because Holden, of course, this is their final season as the manufacturer sadly has ceased to exist now. And Holden, in fact, of course, bow out of the Supercars Championship in Australia at the end of this season when the new Gen 3 cars come through. There'll be Ford versus Chevrolet again. So I'm sure if anyone wants to pick up more Holden V8 Supercars, I'm sure we're more than obliged to pick them up. Those cars will go out of service. Back to the race here. Got to roughly about 8.5 minutes left to go. Side by side, Sidwell comes back across and sets another lap time in the books. And we've got the Motorsport, the car of Neil Gardner. There's the Amuse Time liveried car of Dev Charlton. There goes Ken Angell in the BMW, and also there behind him is the Richardson Honda Civic. There's Steve Dan. They could see his car back up and running after that car had some mechanical, well, it looked like it had mechanical issues in that one. Now Mark Diath is now showing again as having a fastest lap of the race, but he still hasn't been properly put into the results. He's showing as being a lap down, but that can't be right because he hasn't come into the pits. I don't think his car stopped either. So Mark Diath should still be around, I think, roughly 4th or 5th position. We haven't seen him yet, so since the pack he was battling amongst. And fast lap of the race has gone again to Alex. This is quite confusing because Mark Diath's now, that last lap for him apparently was a 4 minutes 5. I think there's a bit of a glitch in the timing because he needs to be inserted. He should be much higher than where he is at where it's showing a lap down, because he's not a lap down unless something has happened to him, had a problem. The Paul Restal Sierra sort of thing had possibly an issue because it's showing as being only completed one lap so far. Right, now Mark Diath has been inserted properly into the result. He's now in P6, so he's up into 6th place now, is the Subaru. His next target is going to be to try and catch Paul Watson's BMW in 5th position ahead of him. And the gap across the line was only a 1/10 of a second, so I'd imagine he's probably caught him by now and passed him. And there's Jack Whitehead in his BMW M3. You usually see him in more of a regular E46 3 Series, but hasn't managed it this time. Now, Mark Diath, I'm sure, quite soon will be up on the tail of these two here, battling over 3rd and 4th. In fact, there he is in the background, so not too far away. He's got past Paul Watson, and now he's got the top 4 in his sights. Using all the curb and a bit more. Again, living up to Subaru's reputation as something that a car that can tackle every terrain, being a world-renowned rally car special. There goes Ronan Bradley, Adrian Bradley. There goes the Martin Reynolds car. And then as we come down the pit straight here, just watch the power of the Subaru. The angle is quick, but just watch the Subaru. It just comes charging down the straight and up the inside and already passed. And that is another new fastest lap for him as well. 2 minutes 6.495. He's got 6 minutes to dispatch both of the BMWs. But then even then, 13 seconds is a big ask to try and catch up to Alex Simple. There's only going to be about roughly this and 2 more laps to go, I think. So he won't even get the chance to do that. He would need to be lapping some, 5 or 6 seconds a lap quicker than Alex Simple. And I don't think Alex is going to back off that much to try and preserve a lead. He wants to try and get back off a little bit so he can just save the car and bring it home in one piece rather than push it too hard. Looks like Mark Diath has found his first proper challenge here, because now he's got the 2 Bradleys here in front of him. It's Adrian Bradley in front of the E46 M3, and they were jokingly saying at the end with Richard and Park Firm at the end of the first race that Adrian Bradley was the fastest. He said, "I'm the fastest of the 2 brothers," but I think Rowan either took that to heart or simply just how the race has played out. Either way, he's got the measure on him. A bit further back, some of our TinTops having a scrap here. This is Skelsey in the Richard Skelsey in the E46 BMW Compact. He's battling with James Seal in the ST150. And Angelo Massinetto in the little Citroen Saxo is not too far away either. He's actually lapping on, they're all lapping on very similar pace. They're very evenly matched hot hatches here at the moment, which is good to see. About 4 3/4 minutes to go. And they go into the hairpin. This is on lap 5 here in this CMMC Southern Super Saloons and TinTops series. A great mixture of cars here. So now we see Adrian Bradley still being put under pressure now from Mark Diath. The Holden Commodore again blasts past the pits. Starts another lap. And now here comes the 2 BMWs chased down by the Subaru. And it seems as though, yes, the Subaru's got quite a bit of poke in it, but the BMWs have got plenty of horsepower too. And across the line, last lap for Mark Diath was actually only just about the same lap time as Adrian. In fact, actually, Ronan Bradley's really backed off. His last lap was 2 minute 9.3. Well, I say backed off, it was his personal best, but even so, Adrian Bradley's turned the wick up. I probably suspect because he's looked in his mirrors and thought, oh Christ, not the Mark Diath Super Impreza. And decided he needs to put his foot down. I think that's the signal also for his brother Ronan to do the same as well. There goes Alex Sidwell in the Holden as it heads out of Agostini for the 6th time. And now, and the brakes for the hairpin, the 3 cars battling over 2nd place overall. The 2 BMW M3s, different generations. Ronan Bradley's is the E36, Adrian Bradley's is the E46, and Mark Diath in the Super Impreza is currently in P4 at the moment. Now turn the way out of the hairpin. 3 minutes to go, just under that now. We're going to get possibly, depends, if Sidwell's quick enough, we might be able to get 1 more lap on top of the one they're about to start. So here comes Mark Diath then to turn the wick up on the turbo, and past him on the straight goes Mark. And oops, that's Jack Whitehead going for a spin down at the Agostini hairpin. Meanwhile, here goes Mark Diath, and actually, Adrian Bradley had quite a good run on him down towards Brundle Nelson, but then back under brakes. Those BMWs are a little bit better under brakes, it seems, and Mark Diath thought about a move up the inside into Coram. That wasn't quite going to work, so he's going to sit back now and hold on. As for Adrian Bradley, he's got more pressing matters here, trying to get past his brother Ronan. So inter-family combat here between the two Bradleys. With Mark Diath's Subaru, we're certainly going to turn the wick up a bit more here. Could get quite the battle. Across the line they go. I think this is probably going to be the last lap of the race, I think, and they go 3 wide. And past both the BMWs goes Mark Diath, charging up the inside, and here comes Adrian up the inside of Ronan. Great little battle at the end of the race here. So Ronan Bradley goes from 2nd to 4th in one move. Mark Diath goes into P2. And Adrian Bradley stays where he was in 3rd. Now he gets back under brakes. He's really good under brakes for that BMW. That E46 with brilliant brakes. He's able to really stand on the anchors and get it stopped for the corner. Excellent stuff. Here's a little more going on for the further back. Now that's one of the cars I'm glad to see on the grid. That's racing here. That's the Volvo C30, which is, I think, got a 2-litre engine because it doesn't sound like a 5-cylinder. And the Volvo currently sat in 15th overall, 3rd in class. So it's actually battling away with the T1 3rd place car, which is Graham Richardson in the Honda. And on the last lap of the race now, more cars battling. Steve Dan's Scirocco against Dave Charlton in the Seat Leon. And the rest of the pack makes its way through the remainder of this lap. We're waiting for more cars to come through as they come past the pits. There goes Richardson, there goes the Volvo. But here comes the Holden Commodore down the back straight and into the complex the final time. Yes, Mark Diath is clear both the BMWs, but that 12-second gap I don't think is going to come down anytime soon. And so as they come back around to the complex, there is 2nd and 3rd. Where is Ronan Bradley? Has he disappeared? Because there goes Mark Diath, there goes Adrian Bradley. Where is Ronan? Ronan's disappeared. The BMW is missing. Oh, and somebody's kicked up the dust in the front of Alex Sidwell there just as he's coming into the complex for the final time. So he will come to the checkered flag as the timer is about to hit 0 any second now. Despite the best efforts of Mark Diath to try and close in. Good effort for the back of the grid though after he missed race 1. But today in Norfolk, it's been a perfect day in the Norfolk countryside for Alex Sidwell, who takes a victory for the 2nd time today in the Holden V8 Supercar. He takes a victory in the Super Saloons. 2nd for Mark Diath for the back of the grid. He's got to be pleased with that after his problems in race 1. To not even start race 1, I should say. 3rd place goes to Adrian Bradley. Mark Diath sets the fastest lap of the race on the final lap as well. And then there's Ronan Bradley, who dropped right back on the last lap of the race. So it's either a spin or a problem for him that's saw him off the road briefly. 5th for Martin Reynolds in the Anglia. 6th for Paul Watson, the BMW. 7th place will go the way of Matt Rowling in the Honda Civic Type R. And then 8th place should go to Martin Scott in the VW Golf. We should mention classes because, of course, there are quite a few of them. So in terms of class wins, it's Class S victory for Alex Sidwell, at a Canter anyway. The first 3 cars are all class winners. Class A victory was Mark Diath in the Subaru. Adrian Bradley was the Class B winner. Class C winner was Martin Reynolds in the Ford Anglia. The TinTop winner coming across the line now is Matt Rowling. So good job from Matt to take a victory in the TinTop segment of the race. He wins Class T2. Class D1 winner was Martin Scott in 8th overall. T1 victor is going to be Ken Angell. There he is there, just heading out of Murray's now for the final time in the green and yellow BMW. And the other class winners is going to be T3 for Liam Pauling in the Citroen Saxo. And also a class win is going to be for Alex Baldwin in the T production class. And he will finish in 18th overall and first in his class in the number 223 Honda Civic Type R. So an excellent day's racing all round for the ultra eclectic CMMC Super Saloons and Southern TinTops series. They'll be back next year for more action, I'm sure, not just at Brands Hatch, but around other relatively close circuits as well. And of course, for the CMMC Southern division, they've also got their Intermarque silhouettes out in force next weekend at Brands Hatch as part of the support timetable for the Formula Ford Festival. So not one to miss, of course. That will be live streamed, of course, as it has been the last couple of years, so be sure to tune in for that. And if you are a CMMC Southern fan, be sure to tune in to watch the Intermarques in action. It should be quite a fun support to the racing that's going to be at hand in the festival. across the line go our last few finishes. We've got the Mattison Saxo ahead of number 7 of Ian Seal, and those are the last couple of cars to take the checkered flag. So big thank you to CMMC Southern and to all of their competitors for turning out today. And certainly that will be one that I'm sure everyone will be very, very happy about. Great day's racing for them all round. One more race to go, but we'll come on to that in a second. So, Alex Sidwell then does 2 from 2 with the Holden Commodore V8 Supercar. He wins by 7 seconds from Mark Diath, who takes the fastest lap of the race. Adrian Bradley third. All the top 3 are class winners. Then Ronan Bradley, Martin Reynolds, Paul Watson, Matt Rowling, Martin Scott, Neil Gardner, and Jacques Whitehead round out the top 10. That's then followed by Steve Dan, then Ken Angell, Dave Charlton, Graham Richardson, Adrian Matthews, Gideon September, Liam Pauling, Alex Baldwin, Dominic Ryan, and Richard Skelsey round out the top 20. And then the last few cars coming through to finish off the weekend. And then we've got James Seal, Angelo Massinetto, and Ian Seal with Sutton and Restall rounding out the 23 cars that took the finish. So, one more race left to go, and it is our special non-championship Mazda Mini Endurance Invitational. And they'll be lining up on the grid very shortly until we get our top 3, which I'm sure will be down in part of very shortly. And this will be a great chance for some of the drivers to let their hair down a bit and simply just enjoy themselves as a last little sort of fun race. Or the race is just bragging rights in that sense. So, wait and see how that works out. I think we might get the drivers possibly going into the paddock again like they did in race 1. So I think that Richard and our cameraman will have to hunt through to try and find our top 3 overall drivers in that race if they can make a stop. So I think Richard and co are going to have a wander down there and pick them up, so we can have a chat. I think there might be 1 or 2 cars. No, we haven't got any cars to pick up, I don't think. So they'll be bringing the Mazda Endurance cars out very shortly. Be able to then give you through the grid. So just whilst we're waiting for that,